So long as the music plays, we dance.
Absolution. Formal release from guilt, obligation, or punishment.
No one ever saves us, so we save us.
An elf, a slave, a sister, a lover, an assassin. These are all things that others have identified Miriam to be. However, Miriam is a great example of those who have been abused, manipulated, and traumatized, and what it takes to truly find inner peace and strength after accepting one's past. Let's take a true look into Miriam. Born into Venter and raised as a slave by House Amasine, along with her twin brother Neb, Miriam was trained to be an assassin and bodyguard to the future heir of the Amasine line, Rosarin. Often beaten and belittled by Enrichetta Amasine, Miriam was taught that she and others like her were powerless and could not make changes to the world. This is a clear manipulation tactic which is more effective since it is instilled into her from a young age. Being brought up as a child slave and constantly told she is less than another, and that her only role is to serve, is a way to ensure that not only is she enslaved physically, but now psychologically. This is done so that the thought of running away never crosses her mind. With this belief being instilled into her, Miriam was trained to be an assassin, all for the purpose to be used as a tool by the Amasine family. Along with her brother Neb, despite having the capabilities to kill and stealthily move without being seen, the negative reinforcement of being beaten and the psychological torment of believing they were only tools were assurances that they never flee or turn against their masters. The only salvation for Miriam was her brother Neb, and even though Rosarin calls her his sister and was nice to her when they were young, this tool is a form of manipulation and enslavement. How can one who owns another truly be seen as family? Rosarin's insistence that Miriam is his sister is just used as another way to chain her to the Amasine house. While he allowed Miriam to flee after killing his mother, he never allowed her to be truly free. He kept her brother alive through cruel means, who Miriam had to slay with her own hands when Rosarin failed his harrowing and his mother forced a demon into Neb's body. Rosarin keeping Neb's body close to him was not out of sorrow, but a way to ensure he could track Miriam when he wanted, by using Neb's blood since they were twins. Both members of the Amasine family enslaved Miriam, albeit through different methods. Enrichetta through physical and mental abuse to keep her obedient, and Rosarin through emotional entrapment, masked by a veil of kinship and keeping her only brother a physical slave after his traumatizing death, symbolizing that even after death, they would not be freed from slavery. The Amasines are to Venter, so it's expected that these tactics of keeping people that they believe as no more than mere objects would be used. However, the greatest and most heartbreaking method of deceit and manipulation comes from Hera, a woman Miriam found after fleeing, a person Miriam believed she could trust and eventually fall in love with. However, Hera's own motivations, be them noble or not, lead to Hera leaving Miriam to join the Inquisition. This left Miriam with a deep sense of abandonment, to have found someone after losing her family, only to have them leave on a task they believe is more worthy than being with her. Yet Miriam is now chained to Hera, shown through the blue scarf that Hera gave to her, and Miriam kept despite Hera leaving. Miriam, while resourceful and cunning, was broken. She just hid the cracks with bravado and a sharp tongue. Yet when Hera came back asking for help, all it took was a promise they'd be together, and a kiss to get Miriam to agree to return to Nisam and help in a mission that directly involved Rosarin Amasine. Hera says she's worried Miriam will never truly be able to move on unless she faces her past, as a way to manipulate her to return to a place she was enslaved, and where she had to kill her own brother. However, Hera says this only to get Miriam to help her in a mission and only return to seek out Miriam because of this. This is the cruelest way to manipulate someone, by using the love they have for another to do something that has traumatized them under the guise that it'll help them. When Miriam returns to Nisam, she immediately recedes into a state of subservience. It becomes hard for her to breathe in the city. She can't look anyone in their eye and doesn't snap back at those demeaning her as we previously seen her do. It could be seen that she does not do this because she doesn't want to jeopardize the mission, but that's an easy way to brush off someone who has to walk in a place they've been traumatized in. She has receded back to what she was taught to do as a slave, that she is not equal to those around her, that she is a mere tool. Even when it comes to a young elven girl who is hiding from the cook so she doesn't get beaten for taking food, Miriam allows the cook to take the child, While Miriam could say she did this so the cook would stay out of the room, she also told the child that no one saves us, showing that Miriam still believes that she is not worth saving, and that there's no one else to take up for them. In that moment, you want Miriam to protect the girl, but this is how traumatized Miriam is. It isn't until she discovers her brother's corpse is being manipulated, and Hera is abducted that she decides to fight back against her former enslaver. When Rosarin uses blood magic to invade her mind in an attempt to manipulate her into returning to him, confronting her past and allowing herself to vent her anger and trauma finally allows her to begin moving forward and actually being free. She must physically kill her past as well by yet again watching her brother Neb die. But this time, she's able to properly say goodbye to her brother and put away the most traumatic event in her life. With her brother at peace and Rosarin dead, Miriam can finally move forward. Yet the last thing she must confront is the truth that Hera, the woman she loved, was willing to trade her to Rosarin for an artifact, just showing Miriam that Hera saw her as no more than an object to be traded to get what she wanted. Although Hera escapes, Miriam throws away the scarf Hera gave her, symbolizing the chains Hera also placed on her. Although Miriam had to face those who enslaved her, the trauma of killing her own brother and confronting the betrayal of the person she loved, she grew beyond her mental shackles, to come and believe that if no one is going to save her, or those like her, that she has to be the one to do it. This gave her true freedom, a belief in herself, and she even found those who truly came to trust and care for her. Miriam is a great example of how trauma affects those who seem the strongest, and the difficulties of overcoming different types of manipulation by finding yourself and growing. Miriam was able to overcome guilt from killing her brother, the punishment she felt for being a slave, and the obligation she felt to Hera. This is Miriam, and this was her tale of Absolution. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Miriam, and I hope you enjoyed watching Dragon Age Absolution. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video, and overall what you thought about the Dragon Age series on Netflix. I really hope we get to see Miriam and a lot more of the cast more in the future, but I really enjoyed doing this deep dive into her character. Let me know if you would like to see me do more of this. Until next time, Wolfpack, Finarel and Unsell.